Hi guys, this is Reet with tripoutside.com, and today I wanted to talk to you about the best mountain biking trails, the more popular trails, and break down Moab mountain biking using a few different apps. Going to Moab and mountain biking can be overwhelming to start and deciding where to ride, what to do. So hopefully you find this video helpful. We're going to look at the two most popular apps and a very helpful website that breaks down all the trails in Moab and their difficulty. So the first app is called trailforks.com. Again, this is a great mountain biking app that allows you to see all the trails. You can see all the specific trail information, drill down, see elevation, start endpoints, just probably the most popular mountain biking app. The one thing that this one is a little bit different on, this gives you more individual trail stats, and you can look at areas and routes, but it's a little bit more complicated than MTB Project. What we like about MTB Project, they're both different and different for different reasons, better or worse for different reasons. MTB Project breaks down more routes and areas and gives you a bigger recommended trail route instead of just specific trails. So as you can see, we're on the Moab section. The Whole Enchilada is broken down as a whole ride. Porcupine Rim, Navajo Rocks. Instead of individual trails, they break down the whole route, which can be very helpful sometimes. So let's take a quick look. And the third website is the discovermoab.com and their mountain biking page. They did a really great job breaking down the specific sections. These are the different areas that are in Moab, and they break it down by which ones are beginner friendly, intermediate, or advanced. And again, these are prioritized based on the local area. So a blue in Moab is relative to a black or a green in Moab, which you may find to be a hard, difficult black trail because you're riding somewhere in an easier area. So all of these difficulties are relative to within Moab. So that's something to keep in mind. So we'll go through the different trail areas that you can ride to. So if you want to do a downhill shuttle ride, the more popular trails are, the most popular is probably the Whole Enchilada, and that is it starts in the La Salle Mountains and finishes all the way in town. And the stats are 34.1 miles and 7,700 feet down. So most people will take a shuttle up to the La Salle Mountains and drop all the way down into right by the river is where it finishes, and then you can ride back into town. Most shuttles will pick you up in town and early morning take you to the top and drop back down. And this ride is typically open between June and October, depending on snow conditions on the top. The earliest you can probably ride it is late May. So this is something to keep in mind. If you're going earlier for February, March, April trip, most you may be able to ride is just Porcupine Rim. LPS and UPS are two sections of the Porcupine Rim, which are also amazing. You just don't get to ride the top stuff, which is, so there's Porcupine Rim, LPS, UPS. They're all part of the same trail system. You may not be able to ride the Whole Enchilada because in the top it's covered in snow. All right, moving on to Porcupine Rim that we covered. So that's about half of the ride, a little bit less than half. Incredible views. It is difficult. Both of these trails are difficult. So if you're not just technically, but also they do work you, even though you're going mostly downhill. Don't let that fool you. There is still some climbing between both of these, just short ups. One of our favorite mountain biking rides, if you're an intermediate, that provides some of the most gorgeous views, is the Navajo Rocks Chaco Loop. This trail is right outside of town. It's easy to get to. It's about a 15-minute drive from town. You can access it from a trailhead. It's a Circle 8, so you can also choose to shorten it. So from town, you drive out, you drive up this road, and you have an option of doing the whole loop, which is 17.5 miles, or you could take this connector trail in between and shorten it at any point, depending on how you're feeling. So this is one of our favorite intermediate rides in Moab. If you're in this area, the next one is Mag 7. Now, Mag 7 is a combination of 7 different trails that go into this route, and they may be listed here. The first few trails are probably a blue and some blue-black. It's just the last 2 trails that you see here that make this a very difficult, challenging ride. But worry not, my friends, you have an option to bail out and not do the last 2 trails. If you go to any bike shop or anywhere in town, they will try to talk you out of doing Portal and Gold Bar Rim. These are both very, very difficult and have some crazy exposure. So I do not recommend riding these trails unless you know exactly where you're getting into. Do your research. There's tons of videos on the Portal, so please check that out. Warning from our end into not just jumping into this trail system blindly. This is a super fun trail system. You start off with this is probably a recommended shuttle. You're going to go from town, go up this road, and then this is probably a 20 to 25 minute drive. Climb. So this is a road climb up. It's an option to do that, and then you're going to continue going and start Mag 7 here. And this is where it's going to end up back at, sorry, this is being a little tricky. Here, we can cover Mag 7 here specifically. All right, and there you go. So you're gonna start up on 313, which is going towards Dead Horse State Park. And a series of connecting trails will lead you to finish here. But if you wanted to escape out of Portal and Gold Bar, you can finish your ride right here and take this road back to the finish. So you can leave one of these cars here, shuttle up, and complete Mag 5 is what we like to call it. All right. The third most popular area in Moab is probably, because of its convenience, is the Moab Brand Trails. This is a relatively new area, and this offers something for everyone. So this is only about a 10-minute drive out of town. You can get to it easily, and it has a variety of different trails that are super fun, provide gorgeous views of Arches National Park back here. You can meet back in the parking lot, and if you have a group that's variable capabilities, there's some advanced trails here that are actually a lot of fun, even though they're right outside of town. But then there's, fun stuff for anyone, kids or beginners that can ride the greens. And if you want to add on some more, there's options to do that with all the blues. Similar sections to this are the Clonzo trail system, which is a little bit further. Again, provides a similar experience as the Moab Brand Trails, but this does have a bit more of the flowy, fast dirt trail system. And further away from town is Klondike Bluffs. The cool thing about this trail system, it's got, this is definitely a really fun black, probably a more technical green and blues, but it has dinosaur tracks. So if you're on the lookout, you can look for some cool the Dino Flow Jurassic trails are named for that reason. So look out for those. So for beginners, if you don't want to do, or intermediate or groups that don't want to do big shuttle rides, I would recommend Klondike Bluffs, Moab Brand Trails, Navajo Rocks for you. And for beginners, the Dead Horse State Park is probably the best place to go. It provides really gorgeous views of Canyonlands, and this is the overlook and the rim trail that you'll be riding. But the trails are fairly smooth, really easy to ride. Most of the shops would recommend that you try these trails if you've never ridden in Moab, or if you're not comfortable with it taking on more technical trails. Lastly, but not least, there's the Amasa Back Trail System. These are Two main trails here are High Masa and the Captain Ahab, which are a nice loop. So you can ride up High Masa, which is a blue, and you go back. This is a one-way, the one-way down, which is a black on Captain Ahab. Super fun trail system. Probably takes about 20-25 minutes to get to it from town. There's a little dirt road that goes up there, but the cool thing is you don't need a shuttle. You can ride this as a loop. I hope you enjoyed this video. There is a ton more to go into in Moab. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. I can go into more detail. Leave me a comment, and we're looking forward to creating more videos like this to give you a detailed view of how you can find the best trails. We will also add links to all these apps and websites in our show notes. And if you have any questions, leave us a comment. Thank you.